Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I am Olubomi Ajiboye Agbola. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Ajia Zainab Ahmed has declared that the National Development Plan between 2021 and 2025 has been designed to secure the future of Nigeria, including satisfying requirements for attainment of Sustainable Development Goals 2030. The minister stated this during a special TV forum organized to examine binding constraints to implementation of the NDP. Details of what transpired during the event were released to journalists in Abuja. The forum was attended by Special Advisor to the President on Finance and Economy, Dr. Sarah Alade, Minister of State for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, and Permanent Secretary Nebulisa Anako, among others. Ahmed gave an insight on why the government decided to drive the NDP, saying that the plan is sufficiently comprehensive with the capacity to attain various regional and global agendas, including African Union Agenda 2063 and ECOWAS Integration Agenda 2050 and the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. The plan is also developed to play a sizable role in the product's complexity space internationally and also adopt measures to ease constraints that have hindered the economy from attaining its full potentials, particularly in the product mapping space. The Nigerian Employers Consultative Association has urged the federal government to suspend the implementation of its proposed tariff increases in the manufacturing sector. Director General of the association, Mr. Oyerinde Adewale Smart, made the call in a statement in Lagos, adding that the federal government should reverse the 2023 fiscal policy measures. Mr. Adewale Smart also advised the government to revert to the 2022 fiscal policy measures roadmap designed to lapse in 2024. The approved 2023 FPM includes supplementary protection measures for the implementation of the ECOWAS Common External Tariff. It also includes increased excise duty on alcoholic beverages, cigarettes, and tobacco products, introduction of excise duty on single-use plastics, and import adjustment tax levy on vehicles. Meanwhile, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, confirmed President Muhammadu Buhari's approval of the 2023 fiscal policy measures. The Federal High Court in Warri Delta State has sacked 18 aides appointed by the chairperson of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Ms. Loretta Onoche. It held that she acted outside her powers in appointing them. The court also barred her from interfering with the functions of the Commission's Managing Director, Dr. Samuel Ubuku. The declaration was made in a suit by Dr. Mike Obreabo for himself and on behalf of the Obreabo Remi Egbedi families of the Olomoro community of Isoko South Local Government, Delta State, while the NDDC, Onoche and Ubuku are the first, second and third defendants. Justice Okon Abang said, having considered the provisions of the NDDC's Establishment 2000 and the circular issued by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation dated January 16, Onoche is to oversee and preside over meetings of the board on a part-time basis. The judge held that the Managing Director, as the Chief Executive and Accounting Officer of the NDDC, is saddled with the responsibility of the day-to-day running and management of the agency. He held also that Onoche's unilateral decision to appoint 18 aides in her office and the demand for an executive office in the commission are in contravention of relevant provisions of the NDDC Act and the circulars released by the federal government on the subject matter of the plaintiff's claims. The court also awarded a cost of 100,000 naira against the board chairman payable to the plaintiff. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the World Bank to suspend any disbursement of the $800 million loan to the federal government and to request the incoming administration to provide satisfactory explanations for the loan. Serap Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare said the World Bank should comply with its own articles of agreement in disbursing any loans, and the bank should not sacrifice international standards in the rush to disburse the loan to the government in order to reduce the risk and vulnerability of corruption and mismanagement. The organization also charged the World Bank President, Mr. David Malpass, to reopen discussion to clarify the rationale and use of the loan in the twilight of President Muhammadu Buhari's regime. It was recently reported that the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning had revealed that the federal government had secured $800 million loan from the World Bank to provide post-petroleum subsidy palliatives for over 50 million Nigerians ahead of the proposed June 2023 removal of subsidy. The Embassy of Nigeria in Cairo, Egypt, is to facilitate the transfer of Nigerian students from Sudanese universities to Egyptian universities. The embassy, in a statement, has said this in the light of requests by both parents and students caught in the ongoing conflicts in Sudan. The embassy said it was collaborating with the Central Administration for International Students under the Egyptian Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research to achieve this. In this regard, Nigerian students from Sudanese universities who are interested in transferring to Egyptian universities are expected to send their full names, faculties, required academic level and year completed, and transcripts of the academic years completed. It also stated that they are also to send their passport data pages and contact details to enable the embassy and the WAFDEN start working on them before the portal for international transfer opens. The embassy further cautioned students that any of them that transfer to the Egyptian government universities would not be eligible for an Egyptian government scholarship. And moving on to sport, the interim Management Committee of the Nigerian Premier Football League Super 6 Championship has said matches of the league will now hold from June 2 to 11, 2023 instead of the earlier advertised May 23. The committee chairman Benga Elegbeleye clarified that the decision is to ensure that the regular season is concluded on the same date before the commencement of the Super 6. According to the committee, the playoff will feature 3 matches daily at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Lagos. The committee said the change is to allow for the completion of Zone of Federation Cup matches, which holds at the earlier scheduled dates for the Super 6. The finals of the Federation Cup will hold after the Super 6 Championship. Earlier, the committee rescheduled all Week 18 games to harmonize fixtures in the 2 groups of the ongoing 2022-2023 NPFL season. While on the foreign scene, at least 13 people were killed and several injured in an accident on the Zaragoza-Hidalgo highway between a truck and a van with passengers in the state of Tamaulipas, Mexico. Images shared by authorities showed the passengers' van almost entirely destroyed by fire, with the semi-truck also severely burned. The officials also reported that more than 20 people have died in the crash and resulting fire, but the first responders were still working to fully understand the situation at the scene. Still on the foreign scene, China has sentenced a 78-year-old United States citizen to life in prison for espionage. A statement from the Intermediate People's Court in the eastern city of Suzhou says that John Ching-wan Leung, an American passport holder and Hong Kong permanent resident, was found guilty of espionage and was sentenced to life imprisonment, deprived of political rights for life. Suzhou authorities took compulsory measures according to the law against the 78-year-old Leung in April 2021 without specifying when he had been taken into custody. The U.S. Embassy in Beijing did not immediately reply to journalists' request for comment. And that ends the midday news on OSBC. Do join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.